All right. What is up, and welcome back to the Daily Traders Podcast. This is episode number 28. I'm your host, Mark. This is my co-host, Jack, and welcome back. Good to have you guys.
Thanks for coming. Mark, did you pay the rent this month?
Did I pay the rent? Apparently not, because it's 5 degrees in here.
It is so cold.
It's so cold.
I'm in a blanket.
Yeah.
We came in this morning. I got an email, and they said the heat for the building, whatever, radiator generator was down.
Oh, this isn't just us. This is everyone.
It's a whole building.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is okay. I have a funny story actually. So they're renovating the whole building, right? We were talking with the landlords. This whole complex is worth like $100 million, and the landlords were in our office, which was pretty cool. And then is it one guy or is it two guys? I think it's one guy who owns all of these buildings.
Yeah.
And anyways, it's a whole complex of tall office buildings, and they're talking about how they're putting like $2 million in the elevators, another like $3 million into the roofs of the buildings, and then like $9 million into the lobby. So anyway, there's a ton of construction going on. So every day we walk into work, we walk through like a construction zone.
Yep.
And like the back entrance is blocked off, so we got to walk all around.
All right, quick disclaimer. We are not financial advisors. We cannot give any financial advice. Nothing said in this podcast should be taken as financial advice. The full disclaimers is in the description below. This episode is sponsored by the Rumford Group. So what we're doing is we are picking up where Wall Street left off. Now, they used to educate people on the floor of the exchange on how to trade. They stopped doing that. So what we've done is we have reached out. We've connected with some of the top traders in the world, and we've partnered with them and created a collective of information to continue helping and passing down generations of information to the everyday person. So stay tuned. January 1st, 2023 is the launch of the Rumford Group. So if you want early access, go ahead, click the first link in the description to join the mentorship group. You'll get first access to join January 1st, 2023. Stay tuned for more information.
Back to the episode. But anyways, I'm going down the elevator with the office next to us is an architecture firm. So I'm going down the elevator with these two architects, and the elevator was like freezing.
Oh
my God.
It was freezing when I got here,
literally,
like 9 o'clock.
Like it was colder than it was outside somehow. And I was like, oh my gosh, like what's going on? And they're like, oh, I think like there's a hole in the building. And I cracked like a stupid joke. I was like, oh, like I'm not an architect, but I would assume the hole isn't that great. And they all laugh. But anyways, they were, I don't even know. I would think I was just trying to like bring up the joke that I made. But no, it's just funny. Like it's so cold in here. And the cold in the elevators, like so our whole building is like
it just creates like an uncomfortable work environment, and we're all bundled up and freezing right now.
I know.
But it was it snowed. So we woke up to snow, our first day of snow.
Yeah. Anyways, I'm like compulsively shivering in my office, and there was snow on the ground this morning. Woke up, I looked out my window, got snow. So
later in the episode, I'm going to be talking about 3 habits that made me a millionaire by 18. I'm 20 now, but I'm going to preface this, so stay tuned for that.
Okay, I will stay tuned.
Excellent.
Okay, stay tuned. Don't go anywhere.
Okay, so I'm doing some research, right? And by research, I mean I'm like scrolling through Snapchat stories, and I come across this story of I follow a bunch of like news articles on Spotify, like the daily, like all these like the Associated Press, all of them, and
on Spotify.
Sorry, not Spotify, Snapchat. What was I saying? Like, it might not have been
Snapchat Spotlight.
Yeah, Snapchat. It might have been Instagram. I forgot. But anyways, I follow. That's pretty much all my social Twitter, whatever. It's all like news feeds, and I come across this guy named Vijay Longhorn, Vaj Longhorn. And he's the dictator of, say that 10 times fast. He's the dictator of Thailand and has a net worth of $70 billion. Great, he's a monarch, cool. I want you to bring your attention to the photo of him in a crop top.
Oh my God.
With fake tattoos on the back.
This guy is not
I'm
real.
expanding it for you. Well,
no,
video.
I'll don't expand it.
How can we describe what we're viewing to our audio listeners?
I'll send the video to you. But for audio, I mean the photo. So for our audio listeners, it's pretty much this like old guy in skinny jeans. You can see his like butt crack, and he's wearing like a super like tight crop top, and his whole body's covered in tattoos. And he's on like a red carpet with like this like model next to him with like a white poodle, and the white poodle's name is Fufu. And this whole story is insane. I remember like when I saw this on Snapchat, Instagram, Twitter, whatever, I was like, I like, couldn't believe my eyes. I had to like go back, and then I went into this rabbit hole of like researching Vijaya Longhorn, Vaj Longhorn, about like his like this guy's life. So he's pretty much. So I'll kind of start from the beginning because it's so interesting. So this guy went to the military, and he was the only son of the previous king of Thailand. That he died in 2016, and pretty much when Vijaya Longhorn took over. Read his name. Like this is
You're making me laugh. Stop laughing.
It's late, guys. This is like it's late here. But anyways, so his name, His Highness, we took over.
You did not say His Highness.
He took over Thailand and pretty much immediately caused an outrage. Maybe he pretty much, from what I understand, he started taking the taxpayers' dollars and like using it for like his own. So, for example, he has 3 Boeing 737s.
Oh my God.
Wait, what?
I'm sorry, I just laughed.
That's insane.
Yeah, no, he has 3 Boeing 737s. What he does right now, he doesn't even live in Thailand. He lives in Germany. He rents out an entire hotel where he houses all of his, and this is insane too. He has an army of women with literal ranks in his love life.
So, you know what my question's going to be?
Yeah, what's up?
This is the Daily Traders podcast. Why are we talking about this guy?
Vijaya Longhorn.
Honestly, don't know. This is just like,
This is a great question. Who let this guy do the podcast?
I feel like
I was just so like this story's like so insane.
No, it's
Who let
interesting.
this guy do the
It's
podcast
super-
notes?
I don't know. Maybe okay. I'm gonna try to like pull out some meaning. But anyway,
Yeah,
I don't know.
I'm waiting.
It goes
The
on and
TikTok
on.
comments, our Spotify viewers,
Absolutely
listeners.
brutal.
I'm kind of
Yes.
I
are
don't know.
comments.
Maybe I'm doing this a little bit
No, you're
for our
good.
TikTok clips because this is such an interesting topic that I don't see how it couldn't get 3 million views on TikTok.
Yeah,
so.
I remember you talking to me about it, but what? Wrap it up, please.
Okay. Yeah, it's a good point. But anyways, I don't know. It's just crazy the different lives that people live. And this guy, like, he doesn't even want to. I mean, from the looks of it, he doesn't want the responsibilities of being a dictator, right? He's just like some crazy king, and I don't
But
know.
he
Like,
stole all this money.
yeah, he stole all this money from his country, and it's crazy. I mean, maybe it was because back in 2016, I don't know, what was that?
Now he
I
lives
was
like
12,
this. That's
but-
insane.
Yeah, now he just lives like a king.
Nice. All right.
Anyways, moving on.
Wait. So the moral of the story is you got to steal money. You got to rob the casino to become a king and have a dog named Fufu.
Now, I think
don't
it's
know.
interesting. I think some people like look, or a lot of people generally look at rich people and they think they had like stab someone's back or play dirty to get there. But I don't think you have to. I think there's like, there's people that have a lot of money that have done it, the fair way. Like you don't, when you look at someone like that, obviously it's like,
it's
yeah,
like
this
he was
guy's-
born into it. He did nothing. He doesn't deserve it. Like honestly,
and he's,
yes.
screwed over all these people. But there's people who are worth just as much as him who have done it without,
I don't know, 70
necessarily going behind like a whole population or
Exactly.
a whole
Yeah. And it's
country
like
and taking their money.
and it's unfortunate because this guy gets pressed to the max. One, because he's screwing over an entire nation.
But it gives a
But
bad
it
rep to
doesn't-
other
exactly.
rich people. So
Exactly.
I think that's
Okay.
interesting to think
Cool.
about.
Well, I wanted, so obviously, we're both traders, so we're in touch with the economy, what's going on. So one outlet that I like to turn for news, Twitter mainly, and I found this story about how the CEO of Wells Fargo and Bank of America were interviewed pretty much about the recession. And it's really interesting, kind of like the job that these guys have, not just being a CEO, but the nature of their companies, which are large banks, and they're able to see or kind of, know what the average credit card holder, American, anyone, with a job and a living, owns a credit card over the age of 18, spends their money on. And they're able to see how much money people are actually spending. What's super interesting is, so spending was rapidly increasing throughout this entire year.
Wow.
And just recently, spending has been slowing down. Which is really interesting into the holiday season. Not to say it hasn't gone up, but in comparison to other years, it's been slowing down.
Oh, okay.
And the Fed has been increasingly hiking rates, which is pretty much a whole incentive to say, hey, like, you don't need a $400 scarf. Like, you don't like stop spending money. Like chill out. So, and people are finally starting to listen going into 2023. So pretty much the whole point of this interview is like, hey, are we going to go into recession? And both the CEOs, the CEO of Wells Fargo and the CEO of Bank of America said, yeah, I foresee a recession in 2023, which is really scary to hear. I mean, recession, good thing or not, bad thing or good, whatever you want to look at it. I mean, do we need this recession? Yes, we are extremely overextended. We're in this type of bubble, but it's scary hearing it from the CEOs of some of the largest banks in the world because they know what's up.
They would know.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I don't know, kind of an interesting topic to go into. And that all plays into, so last episode we did a little segment on CPI, right? And I talked about how it's heavily manipulated by the government. But again, just like Vijay Longhorn.
Oh my God.
No, I'm kidding. I went into a little rabbit hole of like researching CPI and how it's actually calculated. Because I was like, okay, like I've heard from all these like mentors I have and like basic like little tweets and whatnot, how CPI is manipulated. But I was like, how is it actually manipulated? Like, what is like the statistics behind how they've changed? And this is what I found, and it's really, really interesting to say the least. And so pretty much classic inflation. So let's say a year ago, an organic tomato, and keep the word organic in mind because it's important. An organic tomato goes from $1 to $2, right? And a car goes from $20,000 to $40,000, right? So the CPI would increase 100%, right? Both of the items went up 100%. This makes sense. That's how CPI should be calculated. So now let's say, okay, organic tomato goes from $1 to $2. But now you have this like GMO tomato that's grown in the lab goes from 50 cents to $1. So now what the Fed will do is they'll say, hey, this tomato is still worth $1. Therefore, there's zero inflation. You can just buy this tomato. It's $0, no inflation. And now with the car, let's say the car goes from $20,000 to $40,000, right? Whose ring was that?
That was mine. That was my computer. Okay. Sorry.
Anyways.
Ooh.
Anyways, so let's say the car goes from 20,000 to 40,000, right? But now what happens is instead of 100% inflation, what happens is they say, well, the quality of the car got 2 times better. Look, they got a touch screen now. There's heated seats. Like the leather's a little nicer. It's a cooler color. The car's 2 times better, 2 times more value, physical value. So 0% inflation. Because it's 2 times better, even though it's 2 times the cost, it's 2 times better. So that negates for the increase in price. So you see what they're doing. So the fact that they're saying there's like, 8%, I think it's 8.1% inflation right now. Maybe it's a little off. Don't quote me on that, but I think it's 8.1%. 7.7% was the last number. And that just goes to show if it's 7.1% right now, what do you think the actual realized
it's actually that high?
Inflation
They're saying it's that high.
Yeah. Which is
what it really, actually is.
So what is like the actual inflation impact that is going on in our economy right now? And what we're seeing, it's finally starting to catch up with the whole banks, the big banks. And okay, people are actually starting to slow down spending because shit's actually getting too expensive.
Yeah.
And the whole kind of like manipulation behind CPI is that the government uses CPI for a lot of its functions, from tax brackets to unemployment checks. So for example, let's say you get a raise, right? $20,000. But if CPI goes up with that, like if you're making, let's say you make 8% more, or let's say inflation's 0%, the CPI, but realize inflation's actually 10%. Let's say you get a 10% raise. So you're actually like, as far as like the value of your dollar, it's not even going up. But let's say that $10,000 puts you into a new tax bracket. Because CPI wasn't adjusted for that, you're not really making any more money. You're actually paying more money in taxes.
Okay.
So it's like this whole kind of elaborate scheme by the government to manipulate inflation to get more money out of taxpayers and then pay out less money when it comes to unemployment. So let's say, instead of paying 10% more in unemployment, or like the actual realized inflation since they started doing this whole like standard of living measurement instead of the actual inflation measurement, unemployment would be 2 times higher. Because that's it doesn't suffice for what the actual cost of daily needs are in modern society. So
wow. Well, thank you. That was a great lesson. That was like put.
So I went down. I delved deep into kind of like the actual. I read these like scholarly.
Bro went
articles.
on Reddit.
No. I actually I looked up CPI and looked up by like economic professors.
All right, I'm going to talk about a couple things here, and I want your opinion, feedback. This can be like an open conversation.
Okay, great.
I'm going to make a YouTube video on this. So I want to talk about 3 habits that I kind of identified that made me a millionaire by 18. I'm 20 now, like I said. You're 18. What are some habits that, think about 3 habits while I'm going over this that have got you to where you are right now?
Okay.
You're not a millionaire yet, but you'll be there. And what are 3 things that you're really focusing on that have helped you?
You go first.
I'll go first.
Because I didn't have any time to think about it.
No, I know. I'm kind of putting you on the spot. I think the biggest, or not, just 3, not in any order. Okay, 1 is going to be visualization. Okay, visualizing something, whether that is just sitting there with your eyes closed, thinking about it in your head every morning, every night before you go to bed. I remember you told me you say something every night before you go to bed. You don't have to put it in here, but it's the repetition of saying something, thinking something, and engraving it in your mind, creating this atmosphere, closing your eyes, listening to music, picturing a certain image, something you want, or the life that you want to have. Doing that over and over and over. I used to do that. I still do it. I think that tremendously helped me.
Yep.
Okay, writing down goals. I know a lot of people write down goals. Maybe writing down short-term, medium-term and long-term goals. Write the date you wrote the goal, the date you're trying to achieve the goal, depending on the term. Sign it. I used to sign. I'd write my goal, write down the date I wrote it on, and sign it.
That's
Makes
cool.
it. It's like you're putting your name to it. It's like I don't know the right word, but the more ways that you can pretty much put into your mind. These ideas, where you want to be, what you want to get, what you want your life to look like, writing down the same word on a page over and over and over and over and over. I've heard people do that.
Yeah.
I've tried that.
Whatever works for you. I mean, really.
Right. Like, I'm going to be a millionaire. I'm going to be a millionaire. I'm going to be a millionaire until your hand can't
I'm gonna
write.
have a Lambo.
I'm going to have a Lambo, right? So repetition.
Or whatever you want.
repetition.
Like, it doesn't necessarily have to be money. It could be like a sport. Like,
Could
I'm going to
be.
be the best in the world at soccer. Like, it doesn't have to be money, but I think that applies for anything in life.
Applies for anything. Yeah. So visualization I think is a huge one.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have one before I go on to number 2?
Probably one of my favorite thing is networking. I think every opportunity that we have in life comes from someone else.
I like it.
So I could go on talking about networking forever and how important it is and making connections and being a good person and how being a good person helps you make these connections, because if you're a shitty person and you're cheap and you don't help and no one's like, oh, I want to help this person. Like, if you don't put out good energy and help people, why would someone help you?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, maybe someone might see you and like not know, but if someone sees you like not helping someone and being like a bad person, they're never going to do something good for you. So I think in order to like really go from nothing and make good improvements and connections, you have to be a good person.
I like
good
it.
energy.
That was a good one. I think the word I was trying to look for was like self-recognition, or just promise to yourself. Like, when you sign something, you're like promising to yourself in a way
Yeah.
that you're gonna make it happen.
Even when you just write it down, like on your whiteboard
in
or
your
whatever.
mind.
We all have goals on our whiteboards. I like Mark's in particular, the big you money in the middle. I'd like you to maybe shed a light. Some people commented it on our recent office tour YouTube video, which everyone should go check out. A few people commented about that on your whiteboard. Do you care to speak before we cut to our break on that?
What were the comments?
Oh, just a few people mentioned it.
I think you money is just, at a certain point you have enough money where there's no rules that apply to you. And you can just do whatever you want.
Did you not realize that?
I thought you were saying, yo, money, like, you, I hate you. I was like, what? Like, that makes
Are
sense.
you kidding me?
Now
you didn't know what you money
Holy,
meant?
I had a brain. No, I did. I remember hearing Dave Portnoy talking about fuck you
my
money a
God.
while ago. Now I get it. You want fuck you money. That's
Yeah.
funny. That's so funny.
Dave Portnoy said
Yeah.
$100 million was fuck you money. I don't think that's fuck you money. I think fuck you money, it may be low end 500 million.
Really?
Low end.
Okay.
The second habit here, and I think this kind of, it's more broad. These are more broad, is less distractions. I think there's so many distractions now. And
The way you word this is really funny.
I know.
You didn't mean to word it like this, I have a feeling.
Yeah, well, okay. Let me just...
Hold on. Let me read what he wrote.
No, because I want to cover it.
Okay.
No,
You explain it then.
No.
Okay.
All right, less distractions. I think I put myself in a place when I moved to LA where I didn't have friends there. I didn't have a social life. I didn't play video games. I've never been really into video games, but there's all these distractions. Like TikTok is a huge distraction.
Yeah.
YouTube, sitting on YouTube, watching YouTube videos, scrolling on TikTok. someone texts you, people are constantly texting you, your phone's blowing up, they're interrupting your thought process. If you can stay in this, what I like to call flow state, if you can put yourself in a flow state where you have this continual stream of, productiveness, and there's nothing interrupting you, there's no distractions. Okay. I say less distractions, but really no distractions. It's just you and yourself. You're going to be a whole lot more productive. I think that like 6-7 months I was in LA probably put me 3 years ahead of where I've been if I hadn't, I've done that. Like genuinely, I think it sped my life up and my, path in where I would have been that much faster. Delete social media. I don't have an Instagram, like personally. I hate social media. It's funny, we use it for our marketing because I see the value in being able to reach this audience and, have impact on these people's lives and run a company. Mm-hmm. And, but I myself, I don't like it. No.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah.
No, I mean, same. I deleted Snapchat for the longest time.
Yeah, you want to make fun of my notes?
Yeah, so his notes sound so aggressive. It's like, it's just no friends, no parties, little social life, no video games, no TV. Turning all your phone notifications off. But no, like I agree. Like I, recently moved out to Portland, Maine, which is like a small city, and there's not a big social life out here, and it gets dark at 4, and it's like the flow state out here.
It's great.
It's so great.
It is.
Like you gotta find a place, and you gotta like move there or do something. If you want something in life, you gotta like put yourself in a position that it would.
It's like optimizing. It's optimizing your lifestyle.
Yeah, like I'm able to like, and it's like, don't get me wrong, it's boring as hell sometimes. Like there is not a lot of social life going on around here. Like if I want to like go do something, hang out with friends, it's like all my friends are in Florida, they're back home, so some are in Miami, New York. Like my friends are all over now because a lot of them are in college. But it's there's like it's super easy to literally just focus and work all day. And my work like tolerance, like my work tolerance, like I don't know, probably even a year ago, like I could not work this much all day. Like I'm able to like sit down and just like focus all day long because I've worked up to it and put myself in a position where there's no distractions. I'm able to go to bed at like 9-10 o'clock every morning, be up early and just stay focused. So putting yourself in that type of position and in your physical life is so essential, because if you're constantly distracted by, hey, you want to go to the bar, hey, you want to go do this, want to do that, want to go, I don't know, there's so many things you can do, especially when there's friends around and all your friends want to do is have fun.
Yeah.
So putting yourself in a position to focus is so important.
I like it. Is that your number 3 or you're not sure?
I guess 2? I guess that would kind of I'll join you on the less distractions one, kind of playing into like putting yourself in a position to succeed.
Okay. All right. The last one here, number 3. An abundance mindset. What do you think that means?
I'm reading it right now, but thinking there, like knowing, I think there's also, when you talk about manifestation, there's a difference between thinking and knowing. Like saying like, I am rich versus I'm going to be rich.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Exactly.
And like not allowing yourself to have any limitations, endless ambition.
Yeah. And I think once you realize that like money is unlimited. All right. Money it's a transfer. Okay. It's a transfer. You have something that's of value and you in return get money.
Yeah.
And it's just very simple concept, but the whole world, runs off this thing it's real, but it's not real. It's money is just a strange concept. There's a lot of scarcity behind money. But yeah, money's a transfer of value, and making money, if your internals are in the right place, making money should be effortless. And that's what I mean by internals is inside of you. Once you realize there's like an abundance of wealth out there, right? You'll have a transition in the way you go about like conducting your life, conducting your business, and not worrying about running out, not worrying about now I'm not saying don't be smart about money, go blow money, go spend a stupid amount of money. But once you make money and once you realize you can make money, and that you don't have to work hourly for your money, because there's a huge difference there. You can get paid a high amount, a lot for a skill that you have, or you can have a company where you're able to hire people to do that skill for you.
Yeah.
And obviously, when you have your own company and you're able to outsource, you can use leverage. And it all comes down to leverage. I think leverage is like one of the most amazing things in the world, right? Because you could be off in, the Bahamas laying on the beach, and you could have a company that's making $1 million a month back home running for you, with little to no work. I wouldn't do that. I love it, right? I love working, but I think having an abundance mindset is super important. And, not being scared. Don't be scared about money. It's just the transfer of value.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
No, that's a good point. It's like kind of it's like you are detaching yourself from everything that's toxic about like, oh, I can't do this because, there's not enough, or like if you want it, like there's enough for you out there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Like time, like think about it. Like Mark edited all of the masterclass videos on his own. And then shortly after, I came on because Mark burnt himself out of editing and no longer ever wants to touch an editing software ever again. Yeah, which is totally fair.
It took weeks.
And like I completely understand that. Like completely burnt out. I'm like that with music, right? I can't write any music. Mm-hmm. So that's fine. So it is that sort of mentality where like when you get to that next step of making income, you can replace like a job you had to previously do with someone else, which I think is really cool.
It's cool.
We went to this event the other day. It was super cool.
Oh my gosh!
This Christmas gala, we got invited to this exclusive party.
We should tell the whole story of how we got to that event because it's so
intense. You guys kind of talked about it last time, but not completely.
I was gonna say we briefly talked.
The
about
sequence of events that got us there was so interesting.
Yeah,
so I guess I'll kind of start because I started the process. So I was on. I was like, damn, like Mark and I, like we have to do more networking in this city. Like there's a lot of money in this city. It's a small city, but there's a lot of money here.
Yeah.
And I was like, I want to meet all these people. And so I went around looking for networking events, and they have them in your area, and your area. I'm just telling like everyone out there who's watching this, like you can go look up like networking events, and maybe if you're in a small town, like drive to the closest city, and because it's so worth it, like as you'll see in a couple minutes. And so I look and I find this real estate networking event. I'm into real estate. I own a property. I'm about to sell it, and I know you want to get into real estate, but it's not like our thing. Like we're into stocks, we're into education, we're into social media, we're into marketing, right? Yeah. But we're like, you know what, we're gonna go to this event. So I message you and say, hey, do you want to buy these tickets with me? So we both buy a ticket. I think they're like $250, and we show up. I think we're wearing suits or something, pretty usual, looking fly, and we walk over to this.
We walk in. It's just
we walk in. We showed up late. We showed up late. I remember.
Yeah.
Everyone was sitting down, and we're like, shoot, we're like looking for seats.
It was like lunch.
And I was trying to remember we were scoping around, like trying to find like who
do we sit with?
Who's like the wealthiest, most like successful person in here? Because we want to get connected with them. At least that's what I was thinking. I was like, who do I want to get to know here? Yeah. And I find this guy that's like like probably 40-year-old dude with like a whole team, and I can tell they're all like on the same team. And I'd like sit down and say, hey, like excuse me, can we sit next to you? And it was this guy named Nick, and Nick like immediately like super genuine guy. We introduced, like told him what we do, and just instantly got connected with him, got his number. We went to the rest of the event speakers. You weren't able to make it the second day because you had an important meeting, but I was. I went up to every single speaker and I shook their hands after and said, hey, my name's Jack. This is what I do. Got their numbers, got their contacts, every single speaker.
Wow.
So just I'm like
that's super cool. You're good at that. You're very good at that.
Yeah, my dad told me I'm a networking whore.
You are.
Yeah, it's really funny.
Yeah. You really are.
I forward all the networking stuff to Jack. Like
that's you.
I hate to steal your thunder, but I was in New York capturing Chris's headshot. Did a little interview with Chris for the Rumford Group trailer, which I'm working on currently.
Nice.
And some guy, his name is Joe, worked at some firm there. He's like, hey, take this card, like get him on your podcast. Because he walked by the conference room I was in and just saw all of our camera equipment. This like basically exact set you see awesome. Here. And And then I'm like, I'm just gonna give this to Jack. Like, I'm not gonna do this.
Yeah, but no, you are. You're really good.
Yeah, you're great at it.
You're great at it.
Thank you. I appreciate it. And it was funny. I was at my grandpa's 80th birthday, and my dad was like, dude, like don't network here. Just like chill out. Like just enjoy the moment. But it was I mean, that's like one of my like 3 reasons. And I just like because you never know what one connection can bring you. But anyways, back to the story of what this one connection did bring us. Yeah. Was Nick, we were, just kind of talking, and at the end of the conversation, he invited Mark and I. He said, hey, I'm part of this fundraiser, super good cause. It was raising money for less fortunate families for Christmas. And we ended up, it was like a month away.
Yeah, it was about a month away when we got invited.
Like a month and a half out. So sorry, I can't focus with.
Cody,
is that a space heater?
Cody, we're in the middle of a podcast.
Well, guys, anyways, for the listeners, I'm gonna get back to the story real
Yeah,
quick.
yeah.
But Cody just walked in with a space heater. For all the video viewers, you will be seeing a video of that right now, hosted by Media. So thank you, Media.
Here's my blanket.
Anyways,
All right, let's
back to the
continue.
episode. So yeah, we get invited to this event, and the whole thing of the event is that there's a lot. It's pretty much all like the power in our city. Like,
Yeah.
like really like successful
Top guys of
It's a
Portland.
it's a top G's in Portland, and we go there. We get like we're in like a black tie.
Yeah, it was a black tie
It was a
event.
black tie event. Like everyone's dressed to the nines.
Super fancy.
And it was just cool, and we didn't stop talking that entire time.
Yeah, it was like 4 hours.
We met this guy who owned like 6 Buffalo Wild Wings. We met this guy who owned a limo company. We met this
Guy who owns one of the biggest bars here.
and we met
like
this guy who owns 800 units of real estate. We
Yeah.
met this guy who's the largest
Yeah.
the largest specialty condom manufacturer
in the world.
He thought we were a gay couple.
Yeah, that was no.
Did we tell you about that?
We didn't tell you.
Yeah, he comes up to us. He's like, "Are you guys like a couple?" We're like, "Nah, like we're just like."
Oh my God.
we're just,
People-
like,
well,
friends."
This guy was hilarious.
This guy's in the TikTok comments for sure. At least a few months ago.
All right, yeah.
Wait,
Everyone's-
what?
Yeah, dude, have you not seen all those comments calling us
that's-
like?
oh,
yeah,
Mark doesn't really read the
I
comments
don't
anymore.
know.
that's funny.
But he commented on my watch.
yeah,
He said he liked how like dressed up we were, and we're like everyone else is dressed up.
yeah, I know.
But
it
we were
was-
younger.
it
We were
was-
the youngest there by like 10, 15 years.
Yeah, we met this guy who
Dang.
and it's funny too. A lot of those guys were like super drunk.
Oh yeah.
A lot
Well,
of-
the
a
night
lot
as the
of
night
kids were-
progressed.
Yeah. Okay, it's the night when we got there. Everyone was like very
Business.
cordial and
Yes.
business. But then at like 9:30, dude, people were loaded.
Like-
but yeah. Anyways, yeah. So it was just such a good event. And it's like that one connection. You say this.
Yeah,
all
we
the
don't
time.
want to like misrepresent the event because it was like
It was-
I'm like, oh my God, like I want to do this again next week.
Yeah, I mean, yeah,
because it was for such a good cause. We donated. It was just a really good vibe, really good atmosphere. Obviously, everyone's having some drinks and having fun.
yeah. Everyone was having
because it's a
fun.
party, it's a celebration. It was awesome. So again, like, thank you for the invitation. If you see this,
Yeah, it was
next-
such, and we want to be a part of the
seriously.
event next year, and it was super, super great. But anyways, what do you always say? One connection is worth more than 4
a
years.
whole college
Yeah.
degree, $200,000 college degree.
I mean, it's true.
Yeah, it is.
It's really great. And like
Seriously, is.
today, this guy who, like I texted him, I was like, hey, shoot, I need like a really good CPA because for I have other businesses and my personal taxes. And I called him up and said, hey, do you have a good CPA? And hooked me up with like the best CPA.
Nice.
What is a CPA?
Like it's pretty much like a tax, like an accountant.
Certified
Oh, okay.
public, or is it private accountant?
Yeah.
Got
Private. But anyways, this is interesting. I found this again on Twitter or whatever newsfeed I was on, and it's stocks. It was definitely Twitter. Stocks work best at night. I remember the tweet, and I remember when I saw the tweet, the graph came up. I was mind blown. I was like, "Whoa, this can't be real." So then I looked into it again, and stocks work best at night because this is when the smart money is buying. They're buying at the best prices. They're buying at night, and so pretty much what has happened is, if you bought at the close and sold at the open for the last 20 years,
On the S&P?
the S&P adjusted for inflation, you would be up 1,100%. Media, I'm going to send you the chart so you can pull it up for all of our
And that's every day of the year.
every day, every trading
Every
day.
trading day
you-
of the year,
Buy at the close, sell at the open. Stocks work best at night.
like within the first minute.
Exactly. And then it's insane because that's when the smart money's
okay.
buying.
Wow.
That's when they're buying. And it's can you see that graph?
yeah.
Isn't that wild? That's something else. So there actually are ETFs out there that follow this that are new. I think it's iSpy. So ISPY. Or sorry, not iSpy. NSPY. NSPY. Night Spy. NSPY.
Okay.
And then NIWM. So if you and these are new. I think they're like a couple months old. And these are ETFs that follow the night activity of the S&P. And there's also funds that follow the night activity of market leaders. So
Wow.
that's just kind of a little spice for you guys.
Cool.
Looking for some type of fund to invest or like
Is
some
that
type of
a
edge.
potential strategy?
Yeah, it totally is. It's insane the way it's. The graphs don't lie,
Wow,
man.
it's insane.
But anyways,
All right, that's gonna wrap up this episode.
yeah, that was a good little episode.
I hope you guys did enjoy.
Interesting.
We just talked over each other completely.
Yeah, we did. I thought we were over that, dude.
Dude.
I thought we
were over that.
I know, same.
Oh my
28
God.
weeks and we still can't do it.
All right, hope you guys enjoyed. We'll see you in the next one.
Thanks for watching. Later, guys.